Hey y'all, we're trying this another time. So, I was trying to live stream from my laptop, which um has been a journey. Like my Wi-Fi has been very iffy. I'm really just trying my best out here, just trying to put it all together. And so I was just like, fuck it. Like, cause the thing is like live streaming on my phone, when I watch the playback, I know like sometimes it skips when I'm speaking, but it's better than what's going on over here. Because when I was live streaming on my computer, it just keeps saying like connection on and off or whatever the case may be. And so I was like, all right, well, let me go on here and see what it is, you know? And sorry, I'm like, and I'm gonna try to do something I've never done before. I know I've accidentally put like two different devices on a live stream. So I'm gonna see if I can have my camera here for me and then connect with what do you call it? With the computer on here so you guys can see me work. And maybe it shouldn't be too much on the computer where if it's just live streaming me going through the pictures versus me like using the camera and talking and all this stuff. And then maybe you guys are just hear like the background music on here as I'm like doing this. I don't know. It's a lot, child. I'm trying to put it together. And I know I started this kind of late, but that's because I had to like move some stuff around in my room. I was like cleaning out some stuff. And so I knew things were like taking up space in my room. And plus like I was doing other stuff and just trying to like just some personal stuff I was handling, paperwork things. Um if my life were anything like a Truman Show, you have access to my phone, you probably already seen. Maybe, possibly. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what's edited into the show, what's not. But yeah, so yeah, I don't know. But I'm gonna try to do what I can. Okay, this keeps saying that all right, hold on. So I'm like trying to get the images and stuff up on the computer. This is a lot. This is a lot. Yeah, so I'm trying to figure this out. But hey, welcome in folks. I'm trying to live stream with two different devices now, and I'm gonna try to see if I can share the screen on my computer and show you guys the pictures that I'm working on um, as I'm like saving it. We'll see. Let's see how this goes. Oh, but on some positive news, I got some eyeliner yesterday. I had like ordered some not groceries, but like home supplies and stuff like that. Like I needed to get some lights for my lamp. Very little things scare me these days. I was like, bitch, what the fuck is that? Angie, girl, annoying. Anyway, I had to get some lights for my lamps. And then I was like, "Ooh, let me get some eyeliner," because I haven't had eyeliner in a while, and I had been missing eyeliner. And you know, I was just like, and I had like my signature look that I had been doing for a while, like with the you know, the dot, and let's see how many people start replicating that again. But I'm not saying I'm the first one to do it or the first one to do anything, but I'm just saying when I do stuff and then people start doing it, it's like, oh, it's giving the queen of mood boards. But anyway, but my hair is kind of annoying right now. But yeah, so I had got some eyeliner because I had been missing doing like a classic black, you know, look. So yeah, that's some good news, some round good news. And I'm like, why is this taking so long to share the damn screen? Because I didn't press the button. Okay, let's see if we can do it. All right, let's see if it's gonna load. All right, it's showing up on my computer, but it's not showing up on my phone. Did I save this picture? Because I really like this one. I don't think I did. No, I didn't save this one. Yeah, this is a good photo. Oh my goodness. All right, you know what? It is what it is. Am I a transgender? I'm transdimensional. But I know you trying to be on here and be funny. You know, I understand. Show me. But you know, what's really funny? What's really funny is this Wi-Fi and the fact that, you know, it's just a little on the weaker side. But it's fine. It is what it is. What we on here though? It's Fire Friday, Fashion Friday. And you know, maybe this is my angels telling me that y'all don't deserve to see these looks. It's like nah. But I mean, cause look, the hackers is gonna hack anyway, whatever. But I mean I did eat these looks up, okay? Like a lot of them are very fabulous. And yeah, I'm like once I narrow down the ones that I know look really good. And you know what? Y'all just not gonna be able to see it. It is what it is. Um, but there are some really good ones in here though. And you know what? I want to say, you know, this picture is fabulous. That's what I want to say. And okay, I already saved it. I think. Yeah, I did. The alcohol is only healthy. You want it to smell good. Onions. know what you want from me, but when I'm around you, I'm just keep my resistance. All right, fuck it. I'm just gonna do this without y'all, and y'all just gonna see it once it's done. Distance. I know I'm alive with a body that I don't know. No, they tried to get me to be naughty, but I ain't want nobody on my body. I know I'm alive for the party, but I don't give a fuck them parties. No, 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 they tried to get me to be naughty, but I ain't want nobody on my body. Yeah. Got me more paranoid than Haley Williams. Let it be like this on a daily. This, about this. Well, hopefully I get a download from the deity. It's gonna be like, well, yes, I be the mentee. Pray me, you'll fly through it. Don't stay me. You'll learn to fend for myself, for my trinity. Like, what you want from me, but I know when I'm around you, I'll always be so I just keep my resistance. I just survive, breaking long distance, breaking long distance. I I'm trans vocals. I know I'm alive with a body, but I don't give a fuck about them parties. No, they tried to get me to be naughty, but I ain't want nobody on my body. Hey, I know I'm alive with your party, but I don't give a fuck about them parties. No, 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 you tried to get me to be naughty, but I ain't want nobody. Hey, yeah, hey. We're just gonna jam out to old Marie songs. Next time I go to Africa, I better be on the stage, yeah. Looking at a pretty face, yeah. I'm a big friendly sage, yeah. It's me coming up the stage, yeah. No toleration for the hate, yeah. All I need to be getting paid, yeah. Gotta stop breaking bread for smaller businesses. To my feelings. Please don't. Yeah. Okay, I already saved that one. You know what? I'm just not even going to share the screen because it keeps going in and out. So it's okay. I know you want me your way. I hope you don't mind hearing me say it sounds of me some mistakes. Please don't give up your telling you I would pass you one day. I hope you don't mind hearing me say it. Darling, you, I will show you. Oh my goodness. Please don't go. Oh, Okay, you know what? So I have this picture on what I found it amongst my father's pictures. And it's like it's baby me, little me out of the petri dish that I was probably um created in. And this little girl, y'all all could catch the smoke over this little girl. Respectfully. And some disrespectfully. Because you know what? This little girl, man, the things that she's gone through, she don't even know. Don't even know. But okay, I'm just gonna close this here. But this is like a picture of me on Christmas, and I got like a bunch of dolls. I don't know how old I was in this picture. Or like an Elmo doll. I think it's Bernie in there too. Yeah. And this is such like a professional looking picture. It's so like avant-garde. And I was so adorable. I've had like some interesting phases as a kid. Like I went from being like a cute baby to like a awkward looking kid. And then like in my like teen to like early 20s, it would be like, I would have cute moments, but for the most part, I was always trying to like figure out my swag. But I feel like it wasn't until like my mid 20s until like now where like I feel like I figured out my look. Now this isn't like my best look. This is my like I'm chilling editing, trying to be like semi presentable. But I mean from the photos and from the creative direction and the styling, y'all see I could put it on. Okay, y'all see that I could put a look together. And so, I think that's not really a thing that is in question. But but I figured it out. Like when I want to put the look together, I can do it. But this is a choice. Okay, this is a choice. And plus, like this is some unreleased merch. You know, um, it's Narice on the arm here, and Divine. The EP. Yeah, but man, this little girl, so misunderstood. And just so innocent. So like young and innocent and just a young black girl just trying to figure out this whole life thing, right? Especially like as a girl. And like I said, I was on live stream last night. Well, more so like in the morning. Um, and I just had some things on my heart to say. And just feeling like there's certain things that I feel like in my life that could have been avoided had I had like a female figure, like a mom, well, my mom, there present to, just like school me and like teach me through things. And, I just always wondered what life would have been like had she been there to like, show me the way and teach me about things that I had to learn the hard way. Like, going through puberty and developing as a girl and the do's and don'ts of dating and self-respect and having standards and, not selling yourself short and having boundaries as a woman. I wish that, I mean, some of those lessons I learned later. Like there was one time when my grandmother kind of like gave me a talk about that. Just about like, say if like if anything inappropriate were to happen or whatever. And she's just like, you can say no. And that was kind of like a super eye-opening moment for me, because there had already been certain moments in my childhood where I just kind of like went with the flow of things and realized I could have said no in certain situations. And then later on there was a moment where I did say no. And it wasn't like anything like crazy or like like forceful or being attacked or anything like that. But it was just like a moment where a certain situation presented itself and I was just like, no, I don't want to do that. You know? Um, yeah. But I had to learn that along the way. Yeah. There's just certain moments that, and I like there's certain things that I want to talk about and I will, just not right now. I will when the time is right. And at the same time, I want to do it from a tone of not antagonizing anyone or like blaming. Because I feel like it's easy to do that. It's easy to say, these situations or these circumstances is this person's fault and this person did this to me and blah, 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 whatever. It's easy to like formulate situations like that. But I think it's unfair to do when you don't know any better. And unless you're from a when you're in a space or in a narrative of like, who can attack who first, who could get their story out there first, or whatever the case may be. But it's not even a matter of like attacking or like say someone being like an aggressor. Like that just wasn't the situation. It wasn't anything aggressive or like forceful or whatever. It was very like things just kind of like happened and not really knowing, like I said, like those things that had my mom been in the picture in my life, or just feeling like anybody just like protect me or give me the lessons of like it's okay to speak up, it's okay to, you know, share your side or your perspective. There's a lot of times where I just kind of shut down and I should have spoke up and it would have changed a certain situation, or maybe I felt like I didn't. If I did speak up, I wouldn't be heard, or people wouldn't believe me, or whatever the case may be. And yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's personal, and like I said, I feel like in past situations, I've vaguely expressed it from a matter of like wanting to share my side and wanting to like share it from a perspective of like for people to like one finally hear my side of things but actually like believe my experience. And some people like of course are like set in their ways or or made to view you a certain way. And and I understand why certain people, not just necessarily women but like people in general, don't feel comfortable like explaining certain things in their lives or in certain events, because like for one, say it might not have even been like something super aggressive or something super like serious or whatever. And so like you have people who go through real things, real traumatic things that are like aggressively abusive and hurtful and painful, and say that might not necessarily be your experience. Maybe it wasn't like a forceful aggressive thing. And maybe it was just a situation where like it just certain things happened and people didn't know any better or whatever the case may be. But it affects you. And, you know, and then you say you do express that and people don't believe you, you know, or make you feel like you should just be quiet or you shouldn't share your story or share your truth. And I think that's unfair. Um, and and I get it. And and I think it's hard to judge certain people where there's certain people that are like, "Oh, why do you wait so long to share your story or share your perspective?" And again, it's one of those situations where like say you it depends on scenarios, but like say you might not have been empowered to speak up at that time. Or say you feel like people might not believe your experience and or might look at you a certain way for even being in that scenario rather than hearing how it affected you, or or you fear that if there's like a power dynamic in the situation, like how some people have like certain experiences like in workspaces with like a boss or whatever, and it's like, okay, if I speak up, who's going to help me? Who's going to like care to listen and advocate for me and go up against the powers that be, you know? And it takes people with courage and bravery and resilience to even want to go up against the powers that be just for the sake of like sharing their experience and their truth. And it could be a scary thing because depending on the powers that be, you don't know how ruthless people can be and how far people are willing to go with certain things. And if you challenge their narrative, if you challenge their power, then you don't know what repercussions might, come from that. And I mean, we've seen that happen. But gratefully, I have survived some of the worst moments in my life. And certain moments where like it affected, whether I was going to be here or not, and whether I wanted to be here or not. And I overcame those things. And I'm grateful. I'm so grateful that I've grown to be the woman that I am today. And I've grown in mental fortitude and spiritual strength to speak up and defend myself. And I don't always get it right, but I know I'm worth fighting for. I know my story, my experience, my truth, and just my name is worth fighting for. And also my experience because other people might have gone through certain things similarly, you know. And I especially feel for women, but not just women, but like all people, where like say something, traumatic but might have happened. I won't get too specific just because of YouTube or whatever. Say something traumatic would have happened and you know, somehow, some way they end up being blamed for the situation. And it's not necessarily their fault or anybody's fault, you know. Um, or maybe say, it didn't start with them, or, or someone might have like manipulated the situation or whatever the case may be. And, you know, they deal with being shamed and attacked for it. And it's like, oh, well, you brought that on to yourself. And why were you in that situation or whatever the case may be? And it's like, that shit don't fucking matter. That's the semantics of it all. Like the fact that something, you know, happened that bothered someone and they're, at least attempting to speak out about it and, and speak their experience. Um, I think it's unfair to just put sole blame on someone, especially in a situation where there's manipulation involved. I feel like that's always a thing to like reasonably question. Like that's a valid source of reasonable doubt to consider. Like if we can pull the strings and successfully see the strings being pulled, you know, it's a valid cause for concern. But anyway, that's not um, a tangent that I was expecting to get into, but here we are. Um, and yeah, like I said, like I do want to like specify certain things, and I don't want to share my experience from a perspective of like feeling like I have to point fingers at people. Like I don't want to do that. I feel like people get away with doing that and use that to their advantage. And I mean, and I feel like I've felt like I've had to do that in sake of like trying to like speak my experience and speak my truth and get my perspective out there and hopefully change certain perceptions about certain things. But I don't want to stoop down to a level of like blame. I don't want to just like solely like express myself in a way where it like I have to blame someone. And I know I've already done that in like subtle ways. And I've already expressed my experience and how things played out. And it's frustrating when people still try to trigger you in that way and, you know, reference certain things like, okay, we hear you, but we don't care. We see that this could have been manipulated, but we don't care. We're still going to make you the fall guy, you know? And that happens a lot. And it's frustrating. It's frustrating when you put your truth out there and like you have the like receipts and evidence and you know especially from like situations where people are known to be manipulative and for people to be like, okay, we see it, but so fucking what? But it's like, okay, but I'm right though, and this shit is wrong, so why not have the courage to stand up and actually say some shit about it and challenge the status quo? But people just go along for the shit for entertainment and shits and giggles. Because I don't think people actually care about, like I said before, y'all heroes got too much ego to admit they loud and wrong. They don't care about truth or justice. They just trying to push a song. I wonder if they know the storyline was bullshit all along. Don't question it. Just make the reference. Just go along. You know. But something else I'm grateful for is, um, having the resilience to like things have an effect on me, but it doesn't. It's not going to like be a detriment to me. You know what I mean? Like people's opinions and perspectives. Like I think back to I'm not gonna say it. I'm not. And I'm proud of myself. I'm proud of myself for catching myself there. Cause I know if I say certain things in a very general way and not even like making references or like double entendres and whatever the case may be, people twist it and flip it into something that it's not and try to blow it out of proportion and make it like, oh, you're throwing shots and making jabs. And it's like, no, I'm just purely using this as an example. So I'm not gonna do that. I think I need to get better at that. And this is my example. I'm just like, look, let me just let it go. Let me just let it go. Yeah, I'll let it go. But anyway, So I was trying to edit these pictures. I was trying to get these pictures going. And I mean, I can still do that, but I did kind of want to bring you guys along for the journey so you guys can see like the process of what I would usually do from my perspective, not from Truman Show perspectives. If my life were anything like it. Um, and but usually I'll just say it briefly. Usually what I'll do is I'll go through the pictures. I'll take, well, as you saw, we took the pictures, right? I'll go through the pictures and then I'll like separate or copy the ones that I really liked out of the group and just narrow it down. And then edit those pictures and then use it for whatever I'm using it for. Or I'll just have the pictures. So like if I want to post something or repurpose the content and make it into something else, I can do that. Um, and, and it's already there. I did want to put like a color tint to these pictures. And I could do like something real like simple and like um yeah, simple with Canva because they have an option where you can add different hues to the pictures. But um I'm not gonna do that because there's programs that offer better processes. And I really like these pictures. And I feel like for the quality of how these pictures came out, I want to be consistent with the quality in which I edit and just go about anything else with these images. So, you know, yeah, what um that's what I'm gonna do. But yeah, I'm really proud of these images though, and I think they're really good. But you know what? Um um I was thinking about doing this like a few live streams ago. Actually, okay, what I really wanted to do this during the live stream for the anniversary of Divine EP. Because it just logically would have made sense. But I mean I kind of mentioned it briefly, but I didn't really go into detail. Um so and I was thinking about saying it again in another live stream and I forget what I was probably on one of my tangents. But you know, I just want to like briefly and what's the word? Well, okay. I'll just say like briefly give a shout out and just have a moment of gratitude for you know, just anybody that I've like collaborated with previously, regardless of how things have turned out through the years. You know, whether it be like visual projects or creative projects, but specifically like musically, in regards to my former bandmate. Um, just because like I have been listening to this Down to Mars record on here and I was like, you know, this song is really good. It's such a good song. Um, and you know, and we just kind of like whipped it up. Well, I mean, I know I was in the basement, like just putting it together, and I'm not sure what their process was in making the beat, but you know, the beats are pretty dope. And I mean, the thing is, there's a lot of unreleased music that is really good that um you know haven't made it to the light of day. Um, however, you know, I'm trying to be what's the word? I'm trying to grow and evolve as a human, you know, and I could like there's moments where like I get frustrated with certain things and how like things played out with certain folks like you know when I wanted to collaborate with certain people and it didn't work out that way and it's okay and it's fine and I'm realizing I you know probably just don't need to take things so personally But I do want to be grateful for the times where things like worked out and it was really cool and it was really fun. And I had a good time regardless of what was actually going on or whatever might have been going on that I wasn't aware of or whatever the case may be. Like even to the like naivete of it all, I do want to have gratitude for that time. And just like have a moment of thanks for my former bandmate and also like a few friends of mine that I've collaborated with visual projects, or like we might have just like hung out and had a good time, or you know, different instrumentalists who I've collaborated with, um, or people who might have asked me to collaborate with them. I just want to have a moment of like, just gratitude and thanks to anyone that I've worked with at one point or another. Just because like it was a part of the journey. It was a part of my journey, and I have learned a lot from that. And I really appreciate the moments where I had like a lot of creative fun, and I enjoyed like writing to certain songs and writing to um, different beats or coming up with different creative ideas and asking people to help me out and show up and, help me out. And I'm really grateful for those times. And I know I've grown so much over the years, and I'm excited for the future. I'm excited for um, the next chapter and where things are going. And yeah, I'm excited for just future projects that I'm thinking about and wanting to put together. And just how much I've grown through the years on my own, and how much I've evolved as a creative, as a singer, as a beat maker, as a visual artist. I know like I have a lot of ideas and I'm really excited to um, fulfill those things and, really pursue and complete those projects. And I'm excited about it. And I look forward to that. And then maybe like in the near future, um, I look forward to possibly collaborating with more folks later on down the line. And yeah, I think that'll be really cool. And I know, and also another thing, I mentioned this before in my live stream, like from like last night, this morning. I'm just being grateful for the people who like really are entertained by these live streams and really appreciate what I have to offer and just appreciate me and my sense of humor or my creativity, whatever that is. I'm really grateful for the people who consider my perspective and consider my truth and my experience. And, even if it's slightly, I'm very grateful for that. And I feel like more people challenge the status quo, more people consider that I could be right about certain things. And I really appreciate that. I really, I see it. I see it. And even where I don't see it, like, cause I know there's people who've challenged circumstances around my life a long time ago, even when it really wasn't popular to, and it was popular to really like to shit on me and gossip about me and really like believe the like awful things um that have been like gossiped about in my local area or whatever the case may be. And there's been some people who even challenge that, and it's like, yeah, there's certain platforms that really isn't safe spaces for um creatives. And people that just recognize like okay, it might feel like justified based on something that I said last night that I'll reiterate again is like I try to have compassion and understanding even in situations that I feel are unfair to me. And even if I feel like other people are incorrect in their perspective, I at least try to understand. So like for example, like say if I'm being bullied by somebody and the shit sucks. Like nobody likes being bullied, you know. Um and it sucks to go through when it's happening to you. But I try to at some point try to analyze the situation and say like, okay, well why are they doing this? Like what is their from their perspective, why do they feel like this is okay? And it's like even for whatever the reason might be, like say if I disagree with the reason and I'm like, okay, I understand based on the perspective that you have, even though I don't agree with your perspective, and I think your perspective is miscued. Um, it's skewed and misunderstood. But from that misunderstood perspective, that might be what that person believes to be true. I can understand why you feel the need to move the way that you do. And I try to have that compassion for people. And and it's hard. It's hard. It's not easy. It's a really mature thing to do and way to look at situations, especially when situations are happening to you. It's one thing to be on the outside looking in at a situation and you can look at both sides and be like, okay, I understand why this person is fighting this way based on what they believe. And I understand why this person is fighting this way based on what they believe. But it's another thing when like you're in the fight and you know and you're like and it's another thing when you're in the fight and you're like trying to defend yourself and maybe you might be being like targeted or attacked for a reason that you don't even know. And that's like the hardest, where it's like you just dealing with bullshit treatment and for like what you don't even know. And to the other person, they think, oh, I have a valid reason. I know exactly why I'm doing this, and I know exactly all the steps that I'm taking to do this, and how this is going to be rolled out, and whatever the case may be. Although you don't know, and then by the time you find out and know, you realize the reason is some bullshit. And it's like you dealt with all these, you know, years of like being bullied by somebody or, a group of people or whatever the case may be. And they didn't even offer you the opportunity to like speak your truth or speak your perspective about a certain thing. They already had like a narrative that they were going off of. And it might not have even necessarily been true, but that's because that was the narrative that they were forced to believe, you know, from their perspective, they have a legitimate reason to fight that fight. And upon learning that, like even the false reason, it's like, okay, believing the false reason, I get it. I understand. And, but like, for example, like, for example, this is a hypothetical rabbit hole that we're going down, by the way. So say if there's a rumor about a guy like possibly like abusing his girlfriend or something like that, right? And a group of guys. Angie doesn't like this analogy. Okay. All right. All right, Angie. And just like switch it up. Switch up the vibe. Okay, Angie, I got it. Okay, but I'm just gonna say this quickly. All right. Or more vague. I'll say it more vaguely, and hopefully she'll relax. Okay, so say somebody, there's a rumor that somebody did something, right? And a group of people are like, "Oh, we don't fuck with that, so we gonna attack this person." And so, but you don't tell the guy why you're attacking them. You're just attacking them, right? Or you tell them a reason, and it's not like the full story or whatever the situation may be. But then, but you've seen multiple times where the person that is being attacked has advocated in support of the reason why you're attacking them. Like, you know what I mean? Like, say if like they stand for the thing, and so it doesn't make sense that like you know what I'm trying to say? Like, it's like, okay, like say if you're in politics or whatever, and you believe in women's rights, and there's a rumor saying that you're against women's rights, but there's many times where they've advocated and supported and protested and donated and shown up and used their voice to talk about women's rights. And it's like, like, and then, but it's like, oh, but this situation happened, this situation, where he kind of like, challenged women's rights or whatever the case may be. But it's like, okay, but there might have been like the situation or the circumstance might have been manipulated in a way. You know what I mean? Like a scenario was set up to be a certain way to see what your reaction is or whatever. Like, I don't know. It's like, it's very peculiar trying to like come up with an example explaining this that makes sense with while not being so like obscure, because life can be that way sometimes. But you know what I mean? Like, you know, that be happening. Like, okay, a less serious example. It's like, um, apparently there was this controversy. I mentioned India Irene in my other live stream because I was watching her being interviewed by Oprah for Super Soul Sunday, because that's the type of content that I'm into. Um, you know, and she was saying there was a controversy where people were saying that she was lightening her skin in a particular photo. And they were like, "Oh my gosh, how could you? You was representing for the brown skinned ladies, and now you're trying to be light skinned or whatever." But it was literally, you can tell, like it looked like a picture from a photo, like like from a photo shoot, where there's lighting and there's like an outfit and a backdrop and all those type of things. So like in certain situations like that, it's not like she was in like natural lighting or outside somewhere, like, and obviously Photoshop is a thing, so somebody probably could have edited the pictures in a way. But she said she intentionally wanted to appear golden in the picture, like the background was golden. She was wearing like like elements of gold, so it wasn't necessarily that she was trying to lighten herself, but it was a particular like color palette that she was trying to go with. But it's like, does that even make sense that India Irie would like, just like based on what she stood for and what her messages are in her music, and like, does that even make sense that she would like lighten her skin? You know what I mean? Like, and like, okay, like say even if she were to lighten her skin, maybe she was going through something of like insecurity, and instead of attacking, why not try to understand, like, instead of deliberately just automatically accusing her for lighting her skin, why not just be like, is it possible that you like your skin here? I don't know, looks a little different. And if so, why? Like, I hope you're not going through like insecurity issues, you know, like you're a beautiful woman. Like, why is our default to like naturally attack without trying to get an understanding of the situation? You know, that's the shit that bothers me. Cause I'm like, and I know I'm not like perfect with that. I'm sure there's situations where I might have like automatically just been like more judgmental than I should have been. But a lot of times I'll try to like look back at a situation and in hindsight be like, okay, how can I better understand this scenario? Maybe I should approach it with more compassion and try to understand why exactly did this happen this way. You know, instead of automatically just be attacking and, you know, just automatically, oh, this person lightened their skin. How could you? How dare you? But like she said, she intentionally did the photo so it was golden. But if somebody had the common sense to be like, let's just ask her what the situation is, and they'd have found out, oh, okay, she was trying to do like a whole golden thing. Like that was the theme and the aesthetic, and that's the reason why that happened. But people just automatically just jumped into attack mode rather than trying to understand the situation behind the pictures. And so, and it went viral, and you know, everybody was all up in arms. And she was saying like even people were just like just having all these like mean and nasty comments and all this stuff. And I'm like, that's a shame. Because it's like, if y'all are so called fans of this lady, how could you come out your face and even like use your accounts and use your energy and your social media to like try to tear somebody down? Like that shit is just so corny to me. Like it's just so whack. And especially someone whose music and their life and just how they move through the world has always had this energy of wanting to empower people, wanting to uplift people, wanting to encourage people to see the queens in themselves and see the royalty within themselves and know that they're beautiful with or without hair or whatever the case may be. And it's like, okay, y'all seen she's consistently shown up like this, you know? And if not, then there's always, and then you have to understand like there's the politics behind the scenes with the industry and people that probably say, oh, you should probably do this like this, or you should probably wear this like this. Even though she said, luckily in her career, she had a lot of creative freedom. So, but I know there's probably people who deal with that behind the scenes. And she did mention that to some degree in her life, that there's been times where people try to tell her, oh, you should do this with your money. You should move here and live here and do that. But, you know, it's her life. She should do what she wants, you know? And from that, you know, sometimes those outer influences can have an effect. But people are just so quick to like not even try to understand that or consider that. Like, okay, maybe there's more happening here. And I get it to a degree where some people are just on the outside looking in and all they see is this is the artist. And they might not understand how the inner workings of the industry works, where there's a team involved usually. There's a assistant, there's a manager, there's an accountant, there's a stylist, there's someone who does publishing, there's a lawyer, there's this, there's that, there's all these different roles of people making this whole ecosystem work. And, you know, and with all those people playing their roles, it's them also influencing, like, oh, you should probably keep this in mind when you do this. And like, for example, like for me, being that I'm usually the one wearing all those hats and doing all those roles, it gives me a different perspective to go about things differently. Like for example, like knowing what I know about um okay, like a simple example. Knowing what I know about sampling from a business standpoint, I approach music a different way. You know, like I did experiment with certain song sampling like for these live streams, but a lot of times like I would try not to, just because I understand from the business standpoint, that, you know, it's going to cost money or you got to get it cleared and this and that. Like it's a whole thing that goes with that. But having that understanding from the business perspective affects the creativity to a degree. Like it has an influence on that. And recently I was just challenging myself to like break beyond that because I don't want business standards or business limitations to stifle my creativity. But I'm aware of that. And I know in with larger artists, there's probably more of that happening, like from legal, like, okay, we can't do this sample because this artist, you know, this and that, blah, blah, blah. Or, you know, we can't do this with the music because, you know, they don't have permission from the artist to, you know, replicate it or try to like publish it or whatever the case may be. Um, or just whatever it might be. Or like, okay, we're not able to do this um, cover because the artist said no, type of thing. And but it's from like a business standpoint, but it influences the creativity. But say the audience is just looking like, oh, we want her to sing this song. Why isn't she doing this song? You know, or we want her to look like this. Why isn't she doing this? Or oh, this look would have looked really good on her. Why isn't she wearing that? But it's like, okay, maybe she couldn't afford to get that look, or the designer said, no, we don't want to do that. Like we don't want to work with you, type of thing. And you know, and that happens, especially for up and coming artists, where you know they might try to work with more established people, and because for whatever reason, they're like, nah, you're not big enough, you're not an established enough name, so we're not gonna do that. I've even had my own experience that with the Just Wanna video. Like I was working with the stylist and they were saying that they were gonna have me be able to like rent a dress for the look. And I had already had the looks in my mind of what I wanted it to be. I had already determined that I wasn't going to um get so caught up in it. I was a little disappointed. I was just like, oh man, that's crazy. That sucks. But I had already had it in my mind that I was going to use what I already had. And I already had something and for backup just in case. So, you know, and it is what it is. And that's happened to some of the best artists, some of the biggest artists. When they started out, designers didn't want to work with them, you know, and they had to make it work with their budgets and what they had. Like I also mentioned this in the fashion live stream where I was like, you know, some of these girls out here, you know, looking kind of crazy. And I'm like, y'all got a budget. Like, even if you might not be at a status in your career where you're like A-list and you have designers coming to you offering to do custom looks for you and design something specifically catered to you, you're at a level where you have a team and you can afford to put some pieces together, or you might be able to afford to get something off of the runway, or maybe like this designer piece and then like jazz it up and make it into something else with it. There's always a way to like recreate something. And I get it, there's levels to it. It's levels. And you know, until you can get to a level where a designer offers to say, okay, let's do custom for you, you know, there's always a way around that. But there are you shouldn't be limited based on what's accessible to you and what's not, but those things do have effect on the creativity, which is essentially my point, is that it has an effect on the creativity. And you know, and from the outside looking in, and you know, and maybe that could be me, maybe that could be me in terms of how I'd be thinking with these people and their looks. But I do try to have compassion because I'm like, and I think that my perspective is valid because, like I said, people be having budgets and teams and be signed to these labels, and you know, and there's advances and there's money to move around. But and then I understand if it's not, and it doesn't, you know, work out that way. But regardless, there's just certain things that you can make happen. And then again, I feel like when it comes to like my hot takes about certain things, it's like about things that aren't like super serious, like like clothes and fashion or whatever. But I feel like it was just kind of crazy to attack, India Ari over like her lightening her skin. And I feel like any celebrity, I feel like anybody where people say like, "Oh, you looking light skinned or this and that." Anybody with common sense knows that if you take pictures in different lighting, or if you take pictures in the summer and you've been outside in the sun versus winter when you're indoors and it's cold out, your skin tone changes, complexion naturally. And that goes for any race. That goes for anybody. Well, maybe, and then some people might just be like pale the whole way all through the year, or maybe it's a demographical thing based on where they live. But even regular people, if you take pictures in fluorescent lighting versus a warm lighter, I mean, not a warm lighter, a warm lighting, it's going to look different. So that whole debate of like people like lightening their skin and stuff like that, or oh, they're trying to be light. And then also like the color hair that you wear and stuff like that, that also plays an effect too. Like if you have darker hair, then you're going to appear a little bit darker. Or if you're wearing lighter hair, you know, it also plays into how the complexion is being seen, especially with lighting and stuff like that. So I don't know. I always thought that was an interesting um debate of sorts. Well, thank you. Thank you, darling. No. Um, yeah, just to be um clear, you know, sometimes I don't be looking at these comments because I know some of y'all be in here playing. And then, and capping and such. But, I get it. It's a lot of cap and crunch happening. But like I said in my live stream before, you know, or actually I said this during the fashion Friday live stream, even if people be on here like, trolling or whatever, like regardless of your intention, I have love for everybody, in the best of ways. And, I mean well, and more times than not, I try my best to be in the space of love and healing and elevation and all those positive things. But I mean, don't get it twisted, like step to me correct, because if not, it can get spicy. Um, and it's not from a space of disrespect, it's just a space for like defending myself and standing up for myself. And it's like I'm not taking people's bullshit no more, especially when I don't step to a situation with bullshit. Like I know when I mean well, and I have the best of intentions, and and I care, and I'm polite and I'm respectful, and then I'm met with something less than that, then it's like, oh, okay, then fuck you. Respectfully. I try to be respectfully in the beginning, and then it's like if it turns, then it's like, okay, then we can go there. But 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 again, shout out to the people who really genuinely enjoy the vibes, and really um appreciate what I have to offer, because I mean, hello, I'm the queen of everybody's mood board. Everybody's trying to be like me anyway. Might as well get it from the source. Um, and like I said, we have a good time. And sometimes I can get to like a heated, thick piece about a certain thing, or sometimes it can be very lighthearted and funny. Um, like I was saying about that lady in them shoes, and I was like, look, y'all people are mean. Y'all are rude. Y'all are mean. Y'all are bullies. And it was not, y'all was making it out to be, a worse situation than what it was. And I'm like, first of all, her shoes were not that bad. They were fine. It was just like I said, the issue was that she had on brunch shoes going to the club. But they weren't bad shoes though. Like, they was like, and it was just dogging her. And I'm like, you people are so devious and vile. Like, why? Over shoes. Over shoes. And, and I was just like, but I did see a lot of people come to her defense. And I seen a lot of people was just like, okay, y'all are just so mean on here. Like, y'all be so quick to like tear somebody down and shit on them over something that's not even that serious, and y'all take the time out your lives to like put content together just to try to like tear somebody down. And it's pathetic and unfortunate, you know. But and then there were some other people that were like, girl, let me show you the shoes that you can rock. Like there was a lady that was like, girl, let me send you some shoes that you could wear. And there was some cute shoes, some brand lady. But everybody had their moment to like, flip the situation and make it work in their favor. And yeah, and there was a few people that like, came to her defense, which I thought was good. I was gonna do it. I was gonna probably like film something, but there was a video basically saying exactly what I was thinking about the shoe. I was like, yeah, she just wore the shoes during the wrong time of day. That's all. But the shoes ain't ugly. Like the shoes are fine. But the meme that was like she got on the Monica's from Before You Walk Out My Life from the video where she was sitting on the curb. I was like, yo, y'all are funny. But yeah, and it was funny. But like lighthearted stuff like that where it's like, okay, we can like have a little kiki to laugh or whatever, you know, that's always entertaining. But some people just take it too far and like do the absolute most. And it's like, okay, you can relax, you can relax. But but yeah, I feel like this world, this planet can be so mean sometimes. And again, like we just be so quick to attack and nobody really takes the time to try to understand the situation or get like all perspectives and sides, and I think that's so corny to the highest degree. you know. And that's why I often say like, I could be wrong. I could be wrong about a situation. But this is my perspective and this is my opinion. But it's never like try to tear anybody down. Like, don't get me wrong, I have my moments where I can be shady, and I don't deny that. I embrace it because it's funny sometimes. But I don't think some people can be on here so mean and rude and try to make people feel like their life ain't worth living, and that's why I wrote a song about it because that shit is whack and corny to me at all levels in all spaces, whether it's in school, whether it's in professional spaces, whether it's in politics, like that shit is corny, it is. And like I said, like i'm I've grown to a person that like I don't care about the powers that be. Like, if I feel like something's wrong, I'm gonna say something about it. Or if I feel like certain things just could be better or whatever the case may be, I'll challenge it. I'll always challenge the status quo just because it's popular and just because it's what a majority of people believe, that doesn't mean it's right. And like I say before, and I'll say it again in this analogy that I'll keep using, at one point it was a popular belief that earth or the sun revolved around earth. People believe that. And if you challenge that thought, like people basically was like you would get shunned and attacked and all these things. But lo and behold, we know that to be it's true that the earth revolves around the sun and all the other planets do. But at one point, even saying that was mass hysteria, you know? And it takes a lot. It takes, courage to be the person that's like, yeah, I know that this is what y'all all are saying, but I'm saying you all are wrong. And I get it. It's yeah, sure, it's me against all of them, but like I said, all of them is wrong. And if it takes time for you to catch up, then so be it. But hurry up. Put a little pep in the step. That's all. You know? Cause yeah, it's crazy. It's a crazy world that we're in sometimes. And again, like am grateful that I'm bold enough to be like, look, I don't care who or what. And not that I don't care in like a disrespectful way, but I don't care in a like, I'm no longer intimidated by people who appear to be bigger than me, whether it be in like status and power or access or finances or whatever, or physically. Like, I'm not intimidated by that shit. I don't care. Like, because I know, like, you human just like I'm human. I mean, well, that could be a debatable thing. You know, there's some people that could be, reptiles and Palladians and I don't know. That could be a whole nother conversation for another time. But for the most part, I know we are having this human experience. So like regardless of who you are and what position you have in this world and what status that you are, like respectfully, I don't care about that. I care about the truth and the elevation of people from all walks of life, from all levels. And I care about, just a freedom of expression and the freedom to just exist in this world. And anything that challenges that, I will stand against any of that, you know, respectfully. It starts out respectfully until it's not. Um, but for the most part, I don't know, like that definitely had to develop over some time. But yeah, like I refuse to let anybody make me feel small because I know we are all powerful in our own way. And I'm just like, yeah, no, you can't sun me. Like my mom wasn't even present. Like you're not going the fuck. Mm-mm. No. And like all the man-made things that like equate to power. Like, I mean, those things are nice and I'm sure it's beneficial in life, like to have a lot of money. Yes. Or to be like seen of a certain status, like being a CEO of a company, and there's a certain level of respect that comes with that. Like, okay, but these are all man-made constructs and man-made systems. What about the level of power through the eyes of God? That's where I see power. You know, like, yeah, okay, you worked your way up to being like the top lawyer or the top, business person or the top artist, or, you're the biggest, you know, revenue receiving company or whatever. But these are all man made constructs. Like, yeah, okay, you're a billionaire from a man made trading system. But without all of that, where's the power? Like take all of that out the equation. Just people to people. It's either in you or it's not. But we all have it though. It's just simply an awareness of it and embracing it and a knowledge of how to use it. But how do you use your power? And like I say oftentimes on here, I like to use my energy and my power and my gifts for the truth and elevation of people. That's what I stand for. That's what I'm about. That's how I move. Yeah. But I didn't want to be on here for too long. Because like I said, this situation is just like taking forever and this thing is slow. And it's slow, it's taking forever. And yeah, I mean, I'm just gonna work on this on my own. And yeah, but I've been on here for like, well, I was already on here for earlier since beforehand, like maybe an hour beforehand, but it was like glitching in and out. I don't know if I'm gonna keep that live stream, so I just figured I'll end it and then restart it. And just like chat with you guys for a second. Yeah, but it is Fashion Friday, Fire Friday, and none of those things happened. Well, that's not true. I did sort through some of these pictures. I did pick out a handful of the ones that I liked so far. Um, and yeah, there's some good ones, and I still have to go through the rest of them. Maybe like if I could get this, I don't know. I'm not gonna say anything because I'm not gonna make any promises. We'll just see. We'll just see when I can get to it, and then you guys will either be a part of it or you're not. So, and I'm just gonna let y'all know in the real time. But all right, y'all. So I know these last few live streams I haven't played the sound bowl, so I'm going to play the sound bowl this time. It's not like too late, and plus it's the weekend, so who cares? I don't. Um, and like I said before in my live stream last night, you know, I don't have to play the sound bowl. I could just be, I could be on here wilding out on these live streams, but nah, I take the time and energy to say a prayer for y'all and play the sound bowl to help align your chakras. Because, you know, it don't hurt to have one more person trying to help you align your chakras in the world where there's people who probably don't even know about chakras and are influencing you and saying things to, keep you ignorant to your power and keep you disempowered. And I don't like that. So I like to use my platform to empower, and to entertain and educate and, share my thoughts and all those things. Because you know, this is what I do. All right. So I just grabbed any sound ball. At this point, I wasn't even like, I was just like, look, we just gonna go with whatever. So we got solar plexus, so that's what we're gonna play. Um, this is in your lower abdomen area. It symbolizes creativity, sensual energy. And your womb is literally, or for women, is where you create life. Men, also assist in creating life from that space as well. So it's a portal of creativity. And may we align, balance, heal, and yeah, I said balance already. Align, balance, heal, and protect the solar plexus. I mean, sacral chakra. I feel like this isn't the melody for this. All right, and we're gonna do one more. Actually, we'll do three. It says the third eye. Um, to have discernment and to be in tune with the spiritual world. And I play this with the intentions to heal, balance, align, and protect your third eye chakra. All right. This last one is the crown chakra. It is help to heal, balance, align, and protect our crown chakras and clear the ways for us to be in tune and in connection with the Most High, whoever the Most High is for you. All right, y'all. Now let's wrap this up with a prayer, because y'all know that's how I do. If you don't know, now you know. That's what we do over here at the village. And yeah, so first of all, God, thank you so much for all the blessings in our lives, the blessings we're aware of, the blessings we don't know, the blessings that we're waiting on, and the blessings that we may take for granted. May we have the awareness of the positives in our lives and continue to be grateful and thankful for those things. For anyone going through a tough time, a time of adversity and challenge, may you help us see through those challenges and through that adversity. May you show us the lesson and the room for growth and elevation that's within that time, within those journeys. And may we come out the other side of it victorious, successful, with wisdom, with power, and most of all, with love. May we all live by example and show people just how we exist in the world, what it looks like to walk a path of righteousness, to walk alongside the Most High, whoever that is for all of us, and to be in a space of internal and eternal prosperity, abundance, success, love, healing, elevation, knowledge, power, and the relentless willpower to persist in life. So it is, so it will be. Much gratitude for all the things that's already been. Amen. Amen. Ashe. Thank you all so much for being a part of this live stream. Again, if you don't know who I am, my name is Narice. I'm a singer, songwriter, beat maker, producer, guitarist, instrumentalist, visual artist, fashion lover, and creative all around, and businesswoman. I hope that you enjoyed this live stream despite the technical difficulties. I hope you were entertained. I hope you're empowered. I hope you're uplifted. I hope you were able to shift your perspective in a positive way in life, some way, somehow. And and I hope that you're inspired to challenge the status quo and live your truth and be who you are and embrace who you are fearlessly. Again, my music is on SoundCloud. That's where a lot of the like the Lucy tracks are. But Sweet Life is the most recent thing that I released. So please do check that out. My EP Divine that I released in 2020 is on our streaming platform, so do check that out as well. And if you really enjoy the music, you can purchase on narisse.com. There's physical copies, there's a digital download, there's flash drives, and there's physical CDs. So, um, yeah, I'll briefly show you guys that real quick. So, got the physical CDs, the purple CDs, of course, because the color palette is purple and gold, and then the flash drives with all the great stuff on here, from the music, a lyric book, visuals, photographs. Each flash drive has different photos. Affirmations, because you know I'm an affirmations kind of a girl. Even though I realize I haven't done too many affirmations on here. I mean, prayer can be that, but you know, you know what, we can do some affirmations real quick because I haven't in a while. And why not? You know, so get to my existence together. Yeah, so affirmations. We can do some real quick. I'll keep it short and sweet. This can be specifically for self-confidence and self-awareness and self-assurance. I am enough. I am worthy. I am powerful. I am intelligent. I'm courageous. I'm evolving. I'm successful. I am loved. I'm prosperous. And I'm abundant. I hope you all enjoyed this live stream very much. It's your girl, Narisse, and I